Hello everyone. Uh, Today we are discussing one of the service that iSoftra Digital is providing, that is CTO as a service, and I have with me my friend Sumant. So let's go through this service.
Hi, everybody. Yes, Kapil. So I think from the outset, we can set up the expectation of the audience that what we would be discussing mostly would be around
Yes.
the.
So what is the service goal? What is being provided into this services? We would provide optimum and optimum way to digitize the manual processes. We would help the companies to set up their IT team and help them to take IT related decision so that they can save cost. It would also help them to reduce the chances of failure. Like what happened, like if you are hiring some consultant and after 1 or 2 years, when product is with you, then still you have a dependency on that particular vendor. So these are the problems those we are try to solve by this service. So let's go through type of the problem, and I would ask those things to Sumant. So, Sumant, as you know, like in our operational website, where we have a warehouse management, inventory management, or customer management. So there are a lot of different type of issue. Like they have lot of raw material save into their inventory. They don't have optimum level of inventory. So how our service would help them to solve these kind of problems?
Sure, Kapil. So I think this is more about operational problem, which are prevalent across all sorts of industries. So be it a B2B e-commerce marketplace, be it a B2C customer marketplace, or any kind of business digitizations that has to take place. There are multiple steps that are involved in a particular process, and at each step there are lots of manual intervention that is still being done to have that whole process in running. So for example, let's talk about warehouse management or inventory management for an example. So you still see there are lots of industrial unit. Let's talk about warehouse management. So there are lots of warehouses that you have, physical locations that you have in let's say in your organization, which together participate in fulfilling a particular process delivery. So because there are lots of component involved, there are lots of raw materials in place in each of these physical locations. This raw material could consist of half finished products or finished products that you want to deliver to the end businesses or customers. So because there are these steps involved in fulfilling the whole process, in most of the organizations which are still not digital, what happens is all this tracking of raw materials or products happen manually. The manpower that is involved is actually updating the information in some system, or in some cases they do not even have a system where all this information is updated. So all these checkpoints are manual in nature. Then there is a problem of the optimum level of inventory management, wherein you have a certain number of let's say demand for a particular month, and keeping that in mind, you have devised this whole distribution channel with that level of inventory. But let's say suddenly there is a surge in the demand, or suddenly there could be a drop in the demand. So there is no way of system telling you that, okay, I can forecast that there is a holiday season coming up maybe in the next 2 months. So you could see raw materials which are related to something that could have a brief increase in sales. So you should try to procure more inventory of those sorts. And then in winters there could be you could have an alert coming in from some smart machine learning system which could tell you that these are the products that you should try to decrease in your inventory size, and you should increase certain other levels of inventory system. So all this is still done basis the physical the people that who are there in that supply chain. They provide all this information. There is no smart machine learning AI enabled system in place which could actually predict that this is the optimum level of inventory that you should manage. This is the time wherein you should increase your inventory of certain type of product. And then there is no alerts which are there in the system to actually have all these processes smartly managed. Now when we talk about inventory management, there are not just the quantity or the demand side that we talk about, but there is also how this processes or how things are transferred from one place to another. And I think this is a very big concern in this whole supply chain industry, is the the lost the cost that gets wasted while this the products are getting transferred from one place to another, which is a big concern in the industry. And most of it is happening because there is no way for the admins or the operational managers to have a complete view of how that transfer is taking place. If we'll talk about a consignment, then is the container which is taking the consignment not overloaded, is running with an optimal level of fuel. So there are with digital transformation coming up in this era, there are lots of small IoT devices that could be plugged and played into this whole supply chain system, which can not only enable you to have a complete view of how that transfer is taking place, but let's say if your consignment is stuck in some sort of rain, or if you can predict that the weather could be pretty nasty for the next 2 days, so you can alert your the supply chain participants to be prepared for those sorts of scenarios. So we can optimize not just how the products are getting managed or the inventory is getting managed, but you can actually control this whole transferability problem also, bringing into digital solutions. So these digital solutions could be a combination of IoT devices, machine learning IoT devices, AI based systems, and then on top of this you could have a cloud based deployment which could run across geography. So from a single view, from a single place, you can actually have a complete view of your supply chain.
Okay, so let me try to summarize this. So as per this, the operational problem or operational organizations are those organizations where we have inventory, their order management, their customer management, and due to if there is high amount of inventory, then the company is going to lose due to the cost involved to maintain that particular inventory. Then to put the order for that particular inventory at optimum level, and then transfer that inventory from one location to another location. So all these things we can control with the help of AI based system or automation kind of system. So those type of system we can provide and can help these operational organization. So
I think you brought one more good point, which is the customer management. So we would consider even the problem of managing the customer data as an operational problem, because most of the organizations are actually struggling to manage the customer data, get proper insights from the customer data, and then do some machine learning based decisions to actually support their whole business. So I think you brought a very good point that even the bracket of customer data management will come under operational problems. Yes.
Right. So based upon this customer data management, based upon their geography, companies can plan that what type of scheme they want to run in particular area, or what type of discount they can offer for the particular inventory in that particular area. So these type of decision or these type of systems can help you in that particular area. So let me move to another type of organization where digitization is also important. So let's move to second part. Okay, so second type of problem, Sumant, is like we have so many small system in an organization, and they work in a silos for their own kind of product. So in these type of organization, the problem is like, what is the overall view from the management perspective, like which part is working good, which part is not working good, how we can, what type of solution can help that type of organization, and where we can help them.
Sure, Kapil. So again, for such kind of industries, so basically, digitization is something that cannot happen overnight. And I think most of the organizations across all the domains have been working with softwares of some kind or the other from, I think, a very long period of time now, I think a decade or two. So I think for the last 10, 20 years, people from various businesses are working with softwares, but there is never a point in time from, I think, from the last 1 or 2 decades wherein the businesses have decided to completely go digital. So from the start of the business, what happens is there are certain I would say certain units in the whole business domain wherein people are more tech friendly, so there are tech solutions that are adapted in certain units. Then there are certain units which starts adapting technology. So gradually over a period of time for the last 1 or 2 decades, what has happened is in most of the industries that we have come across, I think, and we have a pretty strong experience of last 15-17 years of technology experience. So what we have seen is people are adapting technologies, but that adaptation in that particular businesses are happening in silos. So there are teams which are working for their own product, for their own fulfillment, and there is no single view at an organization level which can empower the business to have complete clarity of what is going in the organization across different business units, and then using that data to actually do some business or some profit related decisions. So let's say you have a complete view across 4 of your business units, and that this business unit is performing in such a way, so you could pump in more money there or take some funding out of a different business unit. So all those decisions can be taken, but those are only possible when all this disparate system in the businesses have a common platform wherein they could share their data, wherein they could share their business information analytics, and then there is a single view at an at a managerial level in the organization which could actually take decisions on those analytics. So as I said, first point is about those multiple systems which are working in silos. They do not have understanding of what are the other business unit doing. And we have also seen that not only it benefits the company in terms, or the businesses in terms of increasing their productivity, but also it matters when the company wants to cut costs, because there is no single view of what is happening across different channels in the industry. They do not have a concrete plan of how to cut costs, and at the end of the day what they start doing is cutting costs from businesses which are actually yielding them high profits. So they are indirectly harming themselves by taking wrong decisions. And why is that happening is because there is no digital backbone of this whole organization which will onboard. So you can talk as if there's a railway track which is digital in nature, and then the carriages are different business units. We can combine them all, stitch them into a single train, and now you have a complete view of your units that are performing in different business units. So, and which is very important in nature, because as I'm saying that organizations have adapted technology but not to the level of utilizing it. So with new age machine learning and AI based I would say revolution happening in while we are discussing this. So I think in modern days, if you're not utilizing these technologies to actually empower your business, then you're actually missing out on a lot of things. So this is where the digital journey come into picture. Yes, Kapil.
Okay, so wonderful. For a multi-system organization, let me summarize this. So for a multi-system digitization, as Sumant is saying, like there are issues to take a decision based upon the data, that is on which data we are performing. So there can be an analytical system where all the outputs of different small system can be seen on a single dashboard and take the decision like we want to continue with this product or not based upon the margin or profitability or any business decision that you want to take. So for these, there are analytical type of services, those we can use. And so by this, let's move to another where iSoftra can help is a new product initiative.
Yes,
So
yes.
for
And I think, yeah, please
yeah,
go ahead.
so for new product initiative means we are a new startup, we are thinking about a new company, or we are not in digitization at all, and we want to transform our processes into digitization. So these are the two area where Sumant can explain like how we can help, what type of services we can provide. Yeah.
Sure. So when we talk about the new product initiatives, there are actually let's call it two types of organizations which are doing this. One is, as you said correctly, that there are startups coming into spectrum. They are trying to solve a problem. They have a very thin hand on technology, so they're not sure how to go about solving that problem. And then there are all these legacy businesses that are already there, but they because everybody knows that if you're not constantly modifying yourself, you'll be very soon out of the business, and which has happened with Nokia and other big technology giants, because they were not transformative in nature and they were not ready to change the course of their businesses over time. And what market did to them is pretty evident from what is happening. So what I'm saying is not just the startup domain, but also the bigger organizations, if they have to constantly evolve themselves, they have to come up with new business ideas and set up quick teams which can quickly devise some solutions and quickly go to the market and test out the validity of those. So across these two types of organizations which are working on product initiatives, what it would require for them to do this is first to have some hands-on technology, so that they can start developing those softwares. And while you're trying to develop a product, there are lots of problems that you could come across, and finally to have that product into the market. So I think we'll discuss about the solutions later, but yes, the new product initiatives, as we are discussing, is a very important part of not just the newer kids that are there on the market, but also for the legacy businesses. Yes. And
Sure.
when we talk,
Yeah.
sure. So
Please,
I'll
please.
just cover the last point also, the legacy system revamping. So this is also a very a very common problem that we have seen in our experience with a lot of customers is it all started with mainframe systems and COBOL programmings and data warehouses and all. So from there, now you're talking about mobile apps which are getting live in month or 2 months of development, and the new businesses units are getting set up. So from COBOL and those legacy systems to all this Java or AI ML based systems, there is a lot of transformation that has happened in the industry. Now some organizations have easily adapted to this transformation, but there are some organizations which are still struggling to do that. So that is where this legacy system revamping is again a very important aspect in the digital transformation journey of a business, because you cannot keep fighting wars in 2022 with knives and swords, because people will come up with nuclear bombs. So if you're into that war, and if you're into this market where you want to stand out, then you have to come up with new sets or whatever new level of technology that is available in the market. So legacy system revamping again is a very important thing that we have observed, but again, it's a very difficult problem to solve also, because nobody wants to touch the system which is 10 years old. So everybody is scared of if we'll try to modify this, who knows what could be the repercussions of a small change that is done to the system. So it's a very important problem to solve, but at the same time very difficult problem to solve. And with if this problem is handed over to wrong set of people, then I think it can actually circle back to making it more worse. So yes, again, a very important problem to solve, but yeah, need some good hand holding. Yes.
Definitely. So, as the proverb is saying, like these days, data is your money. So, if you are using that data that your different systems are generating and design your product based upon that data, so you would be ahead in the market. And if you are not using your data or you are not sharpening your processes based upon the database decision, so you are like you would be lagging behind to the fast and you can say fast and furious startups. Those are bringing those agility in their products.
Correct.
So okay, so let's move to the third portion of this, and based upon the system that we have discussed, so what type of solutions come into the mind into these organizations? So we have summarized those over here, and we would discuss like how we can help you in those particular areas. So first is like do we have tools those are already available those we can use? So Sumant, you can add where we can help over here. Yeah.
Sure, definitely. So I mean, whatever problem statements or whatever businesses or industries that we have discussed till now, I think the solutions for them is building software for them. Now,
Mhm.
it could either be and there could be various ways of adapting technology into the organization. So here are some of the ways. So first is there are lots of ready-made tools available in the market which can be directly adapted to the use case that a particular business is trying to solve. And uh, if the business is not complex, or if the requirement that the technology is trying to solve is not a very complex one, those software tools can be adapted as it is without any modification. Again, this gives the obvious advantage of going to the market very soon, because you have a tool which is already there, which is already tested and been adapted by different enterprises over a long period of time. So you can adapt those tools or softwares and directly have that go to market time very short. Now, the second type is wherein you could adapt those tools, but then there are some extensions of these tools that are required for solving a particular requirement. So let's say you are okay with some of the tools, but you need an extension of what those tools are trying to solve. So therein comes the solutions of customizing those tools. So I think how this business software tools are designed are right now are they are all extensible in nature, meaning to say that they have a proper interface from where you can interact with, and then there are certain interfaces that they have exposed which can be used to actually extend what they provide out of the box. So these type of customizations can be done to tailor them for these solutions that you are trying to build upon. Again, this will not be an as is adaptation. There has to be technology people in the team to bring out to work on those extensions, and then tailor them to to support the requirement that you're trying to solve. Now there's a third kind wherein you have gone through all the tools in the market. Maybe they're not trying to solve or they cannot help you with the problem that you're trying to solve. Maybe your scale is of a different size, maybe your deployment plan is of a different nature, so you cannot use those tools. Therein comes the need of in-house software development team, wherein you have looked at all the tools. You have found out that there is nothing that can help you right now, and now you want to set up a team to actually translate your business problem into technology solutions. So setting up a proper IT team in your organization, which will again have there'll be a proper agile way of working, and you can follow different software development methodologies to actually accomplish what you're trying to do. But all in all, the basis is that you are actually trying to set up an IT team to have that digital enablement of your organization. Now there are there are businesses that we have seen in our experiences which are very hesitant to set up that IT team, because setting up the IT team, has manifold effects on the organization. One is, the time. It takes a lot of time to actually, get a proper team in place, uh, uh, find the right mix from the market. I think, as everybody knows that software is a very challenging and demanding market. People are switching from one place to another, so getting the right set of people, and then finally making them work on a common problem. And actually it's like setting up a company inside a company. So some people are hesitant to do that. So wherein comes the fourth point, wherein they hire a consultancy firm, and that consultancy firm comes with a technology history of their own. They have technologists which are working with them. So the businesses just state their problem to this consultancy firms, and then those consultancy firms take the responsibility of understanding the requirement, making sure that the development is happening fine, and then finally delivering the product. So I think these are the four models in which the industry works to have software developed.
Right. So as per our discussion, like we say that whenever a company, the companies that we had discussed previously, whenever a company want to digitize their processes, so there are four ways. One is they can use already available software, or they can use that software and do some customization in that as per their needs, or they would develop their own software development team in their organization. Like most of organization have moved into this way as well. And in some cases, if you don't want to set up your software team, you would hire a firm that provide their software as a services. And all these four areas have their own challenges, pros and cons. We would cover those in our next video, but for the time being, we discuss like these are the four solutions to the problems that we have discussed. So where we provide help, so these are the area where we provide help. So we provide consultancy on different type of tool to evaluate what type of tools you have. We can evaluate those tools from technical perspective, from your managerial processes as well. And Sumant can put more light on what type of technological way we can use to evaluate those things as well from technical
Sure.
perspective. Yeah.
So I think if you'll map from the four types of methodologies that we discussed in the previous slides, I mean, you can map these four solutions to them. So first, I mean, as we said, the way is to have an as-is tool solve your software problem. Then identifying which tool will actually, because for every domain there are numerous tools that are available in the market, and there are constantly new competitions or new set of tools coming up. So first is identifying which tool will actually be the right solution for the problem that you're trying to solve. And being non-technical in nature, businesses need that all these tools are compared fairly, and businesses have a pretty deep understanding of, if adopting a certain tool, what would be the costing curve, what would be the learning curve, what would be the different infrastructure problem that they will come up with in future. So all those sorts of clarities have to be there before an organization adapts to a tool. So I think one of our services to do that. Second one, when we are talking about using a tool and doing some custom development, again there are certain ways of doing it. Either iSoftra team can actually help to build those customizations. When I say help to build those customizations, I mean, again, there could be two model of doing this, I think, which is mentioned in the in the third and the fourth point. So all in all, solving a business problems means that either you adapt a tool. Choosing that tool, you can get consultancy from iSoftra. Making customizations to that tool, you can take consultancy from iSoftra. Now, how that customizations would be implemented, again, iSoftra can help you to set up your in-house ID team to build those customizations, or you can outsource the whole thing to iSoftra, and iSoftra can make sure that the product is customized according to your need. Now, if you're trying to set up an IT team, which is the third point, and which I think most of the organizations are doing, but wherein most of the organizations are struggling also. So they understand that they have to set up an IT team, but because there is no prior experience, because the market is very swift and very agile in the nature, so they face a lot of problems to actually set up that team and get the right set of people, and have them work on the common problem. So what we can do is we can help you to hire a third party for doing this work. We can optimize the processes because we have worked in the similar industry for a very long time now, almost 2 decades. We can also help to set up your IT team, selecting the right set of people, and building processes so that whatever we have discussed is very whatever teams are getting set up, you have a complete view of how they are performing and when the project would be delivered. So basically all those sorts of project management insights that you are expecting from a project, all that processes can be established while we are building that team. I think all this can help you in the better delivery and go to the market at the earliest. Yes.
Definitely. I think you have covered everything. So as per this, we are providing services to evaluate the softwares. Those are available at as is, and how much those are covered with you, how much those cover the functionality that you need for your particular solution. And we can also help you to set up your IT team where the issue might be technical, might be process oriented, and we can also reduce the rework over there because we have worked in this area from last 17 years, in a two decade of experience we have in this particular service. So that's it. So you can visit our website, iSoftra.com, to check our services, those we are offering. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sumant, as well.
Thank you, Kapil. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.